Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today, she is the managing editor of Scratch Magazine, the world's #1 nail magazine in Europe, in the UK. Please welcome Helena Biggs. Hello, Helena. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. So I definitely want to kick off this interview by asking where are you from and give us a backstory about your upbringing, how you grew up, and things of that nature.
Yeah, of course. Well, I am, as you can probably tell from the accent, I'm from the southeast of England.
Mhm.
Some of your listeners might have seen a show called Towie, The Only Way is Essex, and I'm a stone's throw from there, so it might be quite familiar. But yeah, born and bred in the southeast of the UK.
Mhm.
Two parents, only child, always had an interest in journalism and creativity and fun
Mhm.
things like that, and just always been a bit of a creative, really, and just
Mhm.
had a pretty standard, lovely middle class upbringing. I think I just did the whole school, university, got a job, and here we are.
Yeah, that's really, really incredible. But I definitely want to get into what were like some of like your fondest memories that fostered your interest in regards to getting into beauty. What got you into like, the journalism side of the beauty industry?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that the journalism side actually came before the beauty side. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm a bit of a stereotypical girl, I think, in that, I was always interested in hair, makeup, and
Mhm.
doing my nails. And
Mhm.
I do remember kind of, I don't know if you would have had it there, but I think they were sort of Barbie themed nail polishes that you could
I think
paint
so,
on
yeah.
and then peel off. And
Mhm.
I always remember just putting those on my nails from probably about this age of like 5, 6, something
Right.
like that, and just experimenting with color and style. And so kind of loved that. But I wanted to be a journalist from the age of about 11. I just asked too many
Mhm.
questions, so it was the ultimate career for me. So I kind
Right.
of did that, and then just kind of fell into the beauty world, and they just work pretty harmoniously together, and I love it.
Right. That's really, really cool. So you're the managing editor of Scratch Magazine. Like what got you, interested in working for Scratch Magazine? Also, like since you're the managing editor as well, like what is it that you do for people that don't know what the managing editor does at your magazine?
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, my career started in TV and radio. I think it was to do with being chatty. Just naturally kind of I went into the sort of broadcast arena, and I
Mhm.
had a few jobs that side, and didn't really kind of specialize in any particular subject area, to be honest. I
Mhm.
think I was just still
Right.
finding my feet, and
Mhm.
just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. And then I ended up sort of leaving a sort of TV and radio station, and
Mhm.
I was kind of covering, doing some maternity cover for
Right.
a carpentry and flooring magazine, which was
Right.
not
Right.
me at all. It was a very strange start to sort of print journalism, and I
Mhm.
think I was covering for about 2 weeks, and I was
Okay.
applying for jobs. So this was
Mhm.
in my early 20s, and
Mm.
one came up not far from where I lived for a
Right.
nail magazine. And like a lot of people, I probably thought, how can you write a whole magazine about nails? And then I saw it, and now I've been here for 14 years. I'm like, I could write more
Wow.
than a magazine about nails. So yeah, I obviously got the job,
Mhm.
had the interview on the Friday, got the
Mm.
job and started work on the Monday. And
Right.
yeah, I've been here ever since. And
Wow.
it's I just love it. So I kind of fell into
Mhm.
nails and beauty that way, but I did have an interest in it before. But
Mhm.
I could count the number of manicures I'd had on one hand.
Right.
So I was a little bit inexperienced to the
Mhm.
world of nails and beauty back then, and now I can't
Right.
really imagine doing anything else.
Oh, wow, that's really, really amazing. But yeah, Helen, I want to jump on to this other topic. So you've written 3 books.
Mhm.
So the nail books are called Nail Art Inspiring Designs by the World's Leading Nail Technicians, Nail Art Projects, Eye-Catching and Stylish Designs by Salon Professionals, and Nail Styles. So what motivated you to create, like, to write those 3 books?
Again, it was a happy accident, really. So I had a call one day. I was in the office from a publisher in London, and they were like, "Oh, we've noticed that nail art is really big." I think the first one was like 2012 or 2013,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, nail art was really starting to take off."
Right.
and consumers were getting a little bit more experimental with nail art and color and design. They were like, we
Right.
want to jump on this trend. We've did some
Exactly.
Googling, found you, your magazine. So can you kind of point us in the right direction of a nail artist we could talk to? So,
Mhm.
I mean, that's the question. I was like, well, what kind of nail artist? And they were like, what do you mean? There's one style? I was like, well, you've got ones that do extreme nails. You've got ones
Right.
that do nail polish. You've got ones that do this
Right.
kind of nail art. And they were like,
Yeah.
I think they were like bamboozled.
Right.
I think the poor girl on the end of the phone, I think she kind of hung up.
Right.
She was like, right, okay. Well, thanks. I'll get back to you when I've done a bit more research. And then it was like the day after she called me and she went, I've had a chat with my boss, and she was like, would you like to write the book and reach out to all these different types of nail artists? It kind of changed direction from what they were originally going to do. So yeah, had a little think about it and chatted about what was involved and wrote the first one. And it's very much based on these different types of nail artists. So we've got some amazing profiles in there as well. And I know one of your previous podcast interviews, Jan Arnold, she's featured in there because there's a whole section on fashion nails.
Really cool.
Yeah, so it was great because that really allowed me in the fairly early stages of my career to kind of really get to know nail artists from all over the world. So with the ones that I chose to feature and include. And that first book actually did really, really well. I think it sold like 100,000 copies in 6 weeks. So yeah, which was really cool. And it was translated into Dutch, into Korean, I think. And I had people now text from down under who were sending me photos of it on sale near them. So that was pretty amazing. And then, yeah, they kind of called me and were just like, it's done really well for us. We want to do a second. And it was like probably about a quarter of the time to do it in, alongside obviously working at Scratch. And that was quite heavy, I must admit. But yeah, did a second one. And then the third one is kind of, it takes all of the step-by-steps and all of the ideas from the first and second books into a project book. So it's a fun, creative book that just teaches consumers about different types of nail art and the people that are behind them. So it was a cool experience, fun to do.
Wow. I definitely want to go ahead and get into this aspect of the interview, because the thing that I really like about your magazine, Nails Magazine, Nail Pro, is always the competition section. Ever since I was like 14 or 13, I will always get the nail competition section, because just the amount of artistry and just the amount of, like imagination that can go into a set of nails, really, really, immaculate. But I definitely want to switch gears and talk about the new competition that Scratch Magazine is hosting, and it's called the World Star Nail Artist Competition. So tell us more about that competition and what it entails.
Oh, well, we are going global. So we are so excited to launch this competition. And it's lucky that you've invited me on this podcast on launch week, which is so timely and perfect. So basically, it's an online nail art competition where any nail professional in the world can enter. We just want to really uncover some new talent, but also unite the global nail industry through this competition by sharing creativity, getting everyone involved from all corners of the earth involved in this contest. So basically there's an online entry form. So anyone that is just great at nail art, we really want to kind of uncover some really cool, fresh talent. The entry form opens via the Scratch Magazine website on February the 1st, and they just submit. There's obviously some details and a couple of questions that we want people to answer. We want to get to know people a little bit, and then they can upload some pictures of their nail art, and then we ask for one little task that's to create a nail design that we've specified. It's an outer space theme featuring a star on and then upload that as well. And then what we'll then do, once we've got all of the entries at the end of February, we're going to whittle them down. And then they're going to start going through some serious challenges. And there'll be eliminations at each stage. And the challenges will all be set by some amazing brands that we've got coming on board. And there'll be prizes to be won. And then it will eventually go across, I think it's about 10 weeks from April until July. artists, and they're probably going to come from anywhere in the world. And we are inviting them to London. It will be subsidised as well. So they'll get flown to London from wherever they are to join us at our big annual Scratch Party event. And we're going to reveal the winner, and they'll win a trophy. They'll get a column and a cover in Scratch. And they will also get a huge cash prize and loads of product benefits as well. And it's just a really cool way for people to kind of enhance their skill set, challenge themselves, and really get creative. And we can all follow it online. Everything will be all on our socials and followed. And it's something really cool for the nail industry to follow, watch, and get involved in.
Wow, it's really, really cool. It kind of reminds me of like NTNA, because NTNA, you know, was like the same way, like, you know, 10-week competition, a person gets eliminated each week. So I find that very interesting. So, but I definitely want to get into Nail Olympia, because Nail Olympia is hosted by Alex Fox. She's the director of Nail Olympia, from my understanding, that she hosts every year around the world, Germany, UK, and America. But I definitely want to get into just in regards to, because there used to be a Nail Olympia online. So I definitely would like for you to expand on why did that stop, and why did you get back into doing like, okay, like let's do Nail Olympia on like the arena floor.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Nail Olympia has been going now, and I've probably got this wrong, and Alex will probably send me a message later telling me off. But I think Nail Olympia has been going on for about 13, 14 years, I think, maybe more actually, maybe 20 years. She's gonna you know, tell me off later. I should have remembered that one. But Nail Olympia is its flagship has always been in London, and then over the last few years, there have been exhibitions around the world that basically want to host Nail Olympia there. So we've been in various locations, and we are expanding. We're in 4 locations in America for 2023, which is incredible, in collaboration with the Premier Show Group. Yeah, we've got Dusseldorf, we've got the London flagship. It's really exciting, and it's always been a brand where you compete at these trade shows, and people come from all over the world to compete. The only reason why we introduced the online part was during COVID, when obviously there was no travel, no one was going anywhere, but we still wanted to offer them the opportunity to compete in Nail Olympia. So there were online submissions, but now that has now we're back live again, and we can host in person. Nail Olympia has gone back to being in person, but we're trying to fill this gap a little bit, because we know, you know, it's not feasible for everyone to kind of visit trade shows and compete in person. It's very expensive. There's what's involved. So this is why we've introduced the World Star Nail Artist, so that it's only focused on nail art though, whereas Nail Olympia obviously covers a variety of different styles and categories. But yeah, the World Star Nail Artist is filling this gap online and really encouraging people to just get creative with their nail art. So we've got Nail Olympia, we've got the Scratch Stars Awards, which is recognises nail techs in the UK and the Republic of Ireland, so our kind of home turf, I guess. And then we've also got the World Star Nail Artist. So we've got a lot going on in our competition portfolio.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I totally understand it wholeheartedly. But I definitely want to get into in regards to the Scratch Stars Awards. So you guys host that every year, and I definitely want to get into like how important it is to have, you know, this award show being held every year, you know, especially highlighting those who are nail artists in Europe, especially in the UK.
Yes, so Scratch Stars, we're now in its 11th year, and it recognises nail tech salons, businesses in the UK and the Republic of Ireland across usually about 18 categories. So we really split it into things like L&P Tech of the Year, Gel Tech of the Year, Gel Polish Stylist of the Year, and you've got Nail Salon of the Year, Nail and Beauty Salon of the Year. So we've got all of these different categories that really hone in on those nail businesses and pros in the UK and the Republic of Ireland, and it has its own competition journey. So every category requires something different at the competition stage for the finalists. So salons will get mystery shopped. Nail pros will they come to London, they compete in person. And so that we've kept on our sort of home ground, because it's quite a lot to kind of organise. We really want to just focus on our home turf in that specific Scratch Stars Awards. And it's great because competitions are an amazing thing to do, because no one should ever go in thinking, they're going to win, or I should only enter because I'm going to win. There's such a great learning curve. Like,
Right.
for anyone that enters a competition, you get feedback, you challenge yourself, you see where your weak points are, but you see where your strengths are as well. And you know, the marketing opportunities, if you get to the finals, or you can even tell your clients, you know, I'm here, I'm doing this. Like, what an opportunity for them to be, your clients to be talking about, you know, my nail tech, she's a finalist, or he's a finalist, or they're a finalist in, you know, this amazing category for
Right.
nail professionals in the UK. And it's such a great thing for self-development and progress, and also
Right.
marketing and results at the end. I think competitions are fab. That's why we have so many of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, to add on to that, you know, that's what I liked about NTNA, because it really challenges you, you know, and push you beyond your limits. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's what I really liked about nail competitions, because they really challenge you, but also you get to see other people's nail styles. That's what I find very, very cool. You know, from
100%.
extreme nail art to like hand painted art on a set of 10 nails and stuff like that. And that's why I got so inspired by nail artists such as like Catherine Wong, Viv Simmons, Sam Biddle. I think Sam Biddle is retired now, but you know, those are the people that, you know, that motivated me to getting into nails, because their artistry was through the roof, especially Viv Simmons and Catherine Wong.
Yeah, all three of those nail pros that you mentioned have all appeared in my first book. I featured all three of them because they were just amazing in each of their fields. And it just, I think competitions are also great, whether they're online or whether they're in person, for networking opportunities as well. Like, our nail community, especially in the UK, is quite a small one, but it's a very close knit one, and it's nice to champion each other, but also get ideas from each other. And there is room for everybody, and everyone's got their own skill set and their own niche, and sometimes it helps to kind of almost work sort of with people, or in a competition environment, to be like, you know what, that's really cool, I'm taking that away from this competition, or I've met someone that's really great who I can recommend if my client's moving, you know, halfway up the country. I know that they're, you know, a great person to recommend them to. There's just so much more to competitions than the actual competing, I think.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I'm a bit surprised that you said like the community in the UK is small, because I thought it'd be bigger. You know?
We're a tiny little island. We're a tiny island. I mean, I think, you know, the state of Texas is about twice the size of, or 4 times the size of the UK or something. So it's just, it just puts it into perspective. We are quite a small industry. We're one that, you know, contributes a lot to our UK economy, but it is a small community that we've got just by size. But it means that it's why it's kind of easier for us to do our Scratch Stars Awards and really hone in on that UK and Irish community. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, the nail industry has like really been growing in products and, you know, like nail education. But I definitely want to ask this one question. What would you say are the similarities and differences between the nail industry, you know, in the UK versus like certain parts of the country, like say for instance, like US, Japan or Korea, and other parts of the globe, if you can give your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the UK industry, we've had a little bit of a, I don't want to say crisis because that sounds quite dramatic, but there is a really kind of broad spectrum of technique and skills in the UK because we're not regulated. Whereas your industry is, you have to have different licenses per state over in the US. And, you know, that's it means that you're all working to a certain standard. Whereas, unfortunately, and there are moves in government to, at the moment, to try and change this, that unfortunately, there are courses that people sign up to for £10 to learn nails in a day, and they can go and get insurance the next day. So we're having a little bit of a crisis at the moment where, you know, you've got such a broad range of skills. So that, I guess that's a little bit of a negative comparison to start off with, in that, you know, our skill set and our range is so broad. At the moment, and you know, there are a lot of things that can be done to raise the standards in the UK nail industry. But in terms of kind of the fun stuff, the artistry, the techniques, the skills, we've got such a huge gel polish community here. Like, it's the most popular service, and I'm sure that's the same sort of globally. But I do notice in Asia there's a lot of LMP and extreme nail designs, and you know, they do spend a lot more time at their nail appointments. In the UK, it's a lot of kind of lunchtime, quick fix. We're very time poor, I think, over here in the way that we work. So consumers like, right, I can get a gel polish manicure in my lunch hour. Very simple designs. I think the French are very chic. They don't like nail art, from what I've seen and what I've heard. Whereas we're getting a little bit more experimental, I think, in the UK, and that's exciting, and hopefully that continues to grow.
Yeah, I could tell because the UK, is like very, very artsy and very, very like how you say experimental and conceptual. And that's what I like about the nail industry now, like as a whole, because we're getting more experimental and more out the box with nail art. You know what I mean? Not just with the long extreme nails, but just nail in general, even with press on nails. Like there's nail artists in the UK that are doing press on nails. Like Alice McNails and a few others. So I really like how the nail industry has been growing, within artistry. So there's so many ways you can express your creativity.
Oh, absolutely. And I think since COVID, especially, business where a lot of people are still working from home and only going to the office kind of 2 days a week, I do think companies are a lot more accepting of some nail art now. It's not, if you work in a corporate environment, you don't just have to have, a classic French nail anymore. There are companies that are accepting trends as an expression of individuality for nails. And it's also that age-old thing, it's a cost-effective way to change up a look. Most of the time, I guess it depends who you go to, what products you're having, but in a time when not everyone can afford to buy a new outfit every single week, they can change up their nail color or their style, and they can express themselves through it. And I love that it's kind of never-ending options when it comes to nail art.
Yeah, right, exactly. And plus with nail education too, like there's such a wide array of nail education. You know what I mean? Like how you said with, here in the US, like, we do licensing. So you have to get a certain amount of hours to get your license. So like for me in particular, like for Maryland, where I live in the US, like it's $1,500 to get a licensed cosmetology license. So I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I'm nail focused, and the thing is, and of course with state board, like over here, like they teach you like to pass for state board. They don't teach you to an extent of how to be prepared fully for the nail industry, in regards to what's out now, regards to like different products and different techniques and things like that. It's only teaching you, what you need to pass, and it's very important to learn, safety and sanitation, but what about the other things that are, that should be taken into account. So that's the thing. So I think nail education, I'm glad now there's an abundance of things you can learn.
Yeah, it's the foundation of a great nail professional. And I do think what I have seen, which I think is great, is a lot of nail courses and centres have started introducing more business focused modules as well, because it's all well and good that you can create amazing nails at the end of your nail course, or you've got the foundations for an amazing nail service and to be a great pro. But if you don't know how to market yourself, you don't know how to set up a business, you don't know how to attract clients via social media, then you're missing half of the deal, I guess. So what's been really great to see is that a lot of these education programs are now incorporating some business savvy as well.
Especially financial, I think that's something that's not covered a lot either. It's just the financial aspect of, the ins and outs of owning a salon, how to, manage a business, how to invest in different businesses, and especially in your business. So, that's something that I think that could be taught a bit more. It's like more so the financial aspect of business.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I don't know about over there, but traditionally in the UK, we're not very good salespeople. Nail techs are find it very difficult to kind of recommend products at the end, because they say it doesn't come naturally to me to try and sell something to my client. And we always say in the magazine, well, you're kind of doing it anyway. You're talking through, why you're using cuticle oil, and all it takes for you to say at the end, oh, this is the cuticle oil that I use. It's $3.99. Would you like to take one today? And it doesn't come naturally. So I think a lot of companies are trying to introduce, you need to be making more money per hour because of the cost of living has gone up so dramatically. So here's why you need to retail. Here's how you can retail. Here's how, it's not as scary as you might think. And I think that's something that we definitely need to work on in our UK industry. But hopefully we're getting there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Exactly. Now, one of the things I'm really noticing is that AI technology, or just the growth of technology in general, has grown a lot within the nail industry. Some of the things I really noticed is that, there's nail printers, there's
Mm-hmm.
a machine, I think it's like in Texas somewhere in the US here, where, they polish your nails. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a machine that polishes, you choose like a nail color and they polish your nails. So what is your perspective just in regards to, technology and how it's growing more within the nail industry?
In terms of things like nail printers, I think everything has a purpose and a place for a person somewhere.
Right.
However, however, in my position, knowing the nail industry as I do, I don't think there's ever going to be a substitute for a well-educated nail professional who, it's all well and good to go and, stick your nail under a printer or have it painted by a machine. And that's, probably a very speedy thing, but who's to know the condition of your nail plate as to how long that's going to last on your nail, or
Right.
unless you've got if you've got some kind of nail disorder that needs to be looked at or referred to.
Right. Mhm.
You're not, every nail is different and every client is different, and I think it's only a well-trained nail professional that knows kind of what to do, what products to recommend,
Right.
what's going to work for their client with their daily habits. I'm assuming these
Mhm.
pieces of technology don't have consultation forms, or can't tell what the client needs. So I don't think we're quite yet there with the
Mhm.
old robotics. I don't think those questions are being asked. So
Mhm.
it's very fun, and I'm sure it suits some consumers out there as a fun treat. But I just don't think
Mhm.
there's any substitute for a pro. But then
Yeah.
technology has helped us in so many ways. If you're looking at, obviously, social media as technology, I don't even
Mm.
begin to say how that's helped and supported and grown the nail industry.
Mhm.
And even things like salon software systems, making it
Right.
easier for you to market yourself. And
Mhm.
we've actually introduced in the last couple of months a tech for techs column in the magazine, because we're seeing so many tech initiatives coming out, like websites are introducing, you can actually see the color on your nails via their app or via their website. If they've got new
Mhm.
colors, it's like try on your own hand, and you can
Mhm.
just put your phone over your hand and see what a new nail color will look like. So
Mhm.
there's fun things like that I think, they really serve to enhance the decision making process in the salon,
Right.
which are really cool and fun. And I look forward to seeing what else is going to come out. So NFTs, and
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing what else there is that I'm going to struggle to understand, but look forward to learning about.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still learning about NFTs and things like that. And there's a lot of artists jumping into NFTs. I think there's like a couple nail artists that are jumping to get into their own NFTs. One of them I interviewed, her name is Crystal, and her handle is Nails Did, and she got into NFTs, so using her nail art as NFTs. There's another artist, her name is Vivienne Shu, and
Mm-hmm.
she does, nail art as well. She uses her nail art as NFTs. So yeah, so there's a few people that are getting involved in the NFT Web3 space. But yeah, I'm still trying to understand it myself. But yeah, but especially also like with AI is getting big. You got Chat GBT.
Mm-hmm.
If you got it's like a website platform. You type something, like say if you want a recipe for something, or you want a how to type of thing, and they'll show you like different recipes or different ways to do it. You know what I mean? And especially with the internet in general, like you'll type something, say for instance, I'm looking at like a nail nail ad like from the gel bottle.
Mm.
And then, on YouTube, there'll be a gel bottle ad. So
It's frightening how kind of our laptops hear us, or our devices, they hear us, they know what's coming, and targeted marketing is
right.
terrifying but brilliant at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you know that some of the things I was just thinking about, and I was like, can you hear my thoughts now? It's bizarre how tech works, but it
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's fascinating. It's brilliant and it's scary at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of scary. Have you heard of Dolly? Possibly?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, where it's like a machine, it's like an AI that, you give it keywords and it'll draw you something like, and it's like real realistic and things like that. It's really, really crazy how AI is slowly growing, especially with AI art, like people starting to get into that. So the thing is also too, like, like how you said, it's not
Mm.
going to replace human creativity. It's not going to replace
That's
the
exactly it.
expertise.
I was shown the other day, uh, well, it was about 2 weeks ago, a guy that we sort of employed for a while to kind of look at our our sort of social media side of the business,
Right.
he said, "Oh, I've got something that will save you time on a day-to-day basis." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, that sounds great. What is it?" And he was like, "Oh, I think it was like Chat GBT." And he was like, "Just type in, write an article on natural nail care." And it literally just populated it. And I
Right.
was like, well, not that I would ever do that, because, as an old school journalist, like, I'd still need to fact check. I'd wonder where the sources are. Who are the reputable sources? But it was terrifying. It actually came up with a full blown article within seconds that,
Right.
I worry that that's going to start getting used in schools for essays. Like, kids are gonna start writing, "Oh, write me an essay on, history or Henry VIII or something," and it's going to come up with a full essay, and it's a different one every time. And you just think, wow, AI is scary, but I do think
Yeah.
it will still need to be checked. We're not in iRobot. Look what happened in iRobot with Will Smith. One went awry, one went rogue, and it only takes one. And I just don't think there's any substitute, particularly in our industry, for great creativity. And that's part of the experience, surely.
Right.
Like, we don't want our world to be surrounded by machines, surely.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Now, I definitely want to ask this question and switch gears, because if you had a top 10 list of your favorite nail artists, who would they be and why?
See, this is really hard. It's going to be very hard for me to answer this one, just because I'm going to chicken out of this answer a little bit and just say, you know what, there are so many amazing nail artists that specialize in so many different
Right.
fields. And I admire anyone who's just doing something creative that they love and that they enjoy. And you mentioned some names earlier that I absolutely think are incredible. And in my books, you'll see the nail artists that I've interviewed. But that was 10 years ago now. And just seeing the talent that's coming out,
Right.
even from just overlay designs, what some people can do on just a short natural nail, and the intricacy involved in their artwork. And there's so many different types of it's like, what is art? There's people that specialize in this really kind of cool pop art designs, or there's some that do extreme nails. I've
Right.
got to name drop Minovo. I think he's
Oh,
incredible.
he's
Like,
amazing.
I've watched him work, and he has a column in our magazine now, because I think, for the fact that he's only been in the industry for a couple of years, and he's won so many awards, and his extreme nail styling and imagination just wows me every time I see one of his creations. I think, yeah, he's pretty damn cool. But then, there are so many nail artists that just create really realistic faces on nails, and you just think, wow,
Right.
how have you done that on such a small canvas? And I think I'd be here for years if I named all the nail artists I'd admire, to be honest. But we hopefully try and feature as many of them as possible on our website. And there's new ones that catch our eye every single minute of the day. So yeah,
I could totally understand, because it's so hard to choose like 10 people that you really like, because there's so many people with so many styles that you really, really admire. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like Kosko Bojana from Serbia, like, I love her work. Her work is amazing. And also Sadi J, she's very amazing as well. So, there's a lot of cool nail artists out there.
Definitely. And I'm hoping that people will enter the World Star Nail Artist competition, because then we can get to know some of these newer artists, and we can, uncover talent that we might not have seen on social media,
Right.
from, like I said, all four corners of the globe. Like, we want to see, this fresh emerging talent, and some styles that we've never seen before, and the creativity that comes out of this competition. So, if your listeners, if there's some nail artists out there, we really want to see you entering, so that I can mention you on the next podcast.
Yeah, that's absolutely cool. But I definitely want to get into, what does your future look like in 10 years? Do you plan on the next 10 years now still be involved in the nail industry, especially in the journalism side of it?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly, my role has changed actually in the last kind of few years, as our company's kind of changed and grown and progressed. And I do a lot less writing than I used to, but I do a lot more kind of planning and editorial, and launching these competitions and initiatives to kind of grow the Scratch brand, but also grow help grow and support, what's going on in the nail industry, and
Right.
champion talent as well. So I think my role will kind of change as the industry changes, and just I do love the nail industry. I just I think the reason why I've stayed here for so long at Scratch, like I said, it's about 14 years now, is because every day is different. And then every day you
Right.
see a nail art style or a technique that you've never seen before. And it's never dull, is it? I think that's why so many people love and admire it. And, nails are like one of the most searched for things on kind of TikTok or
Right.
Google. And it's just because it's just the opportunities and the creativity is just endless, and it just
Right.
continues to fascinate. So I really hope I'll still be working in the nail industry in
Yeah,
some
that's
capacity.
but last but not least, where could people find your social media, and how could people, support Scratch Magazine? How could people get involved, like be a columnist? How could people get involved in the nail competitions?
Well, most of the details are on our website, scratchmagazine.co.uk. So we
Mm,
post daily news, features, advice articles, galleries for inspiration. It's kind of a news site for nails. It's your
right.
ultimate resource, really. So definitely take a look at that and bookmark it in your favorites, please, everybody, and visit that daily. And all of the details about our competitions are on there as well, including
Mhm,
entry, rules and regulations. You can read absolutely everything on our
mm,
website, but also follow us on social media. So at Scratch
mm,
Magazine on Instagram, Scratch.magazine on TikTok. We're building our TikTok at the moment. I
mm.
feel very old because there's much younger people in the team who know what they're doing on TikTok, and I'm still trying to learn. So people might have to be patient on there with
Mhm,
me a little bit. So we've got TikTok, and Twitter and Facebook. Just search for Scratch Magazine, and you can find all of the information that you will need, and follow us
mhm,
there, including how to submit content to the magazine. So if you've got a really cool story to tell that you
mm,
want to share with the nail world, or you've got some advice that you want to share, or a nail design that you've created, then you could submit that via our website or tag us on
mm.
social media as well.
All right. That's really, really amazing. Well, thank you so much, Helena, for jumping onto the show. This was a great conversation. It's such an, honor to meet you and get to know you.
Thank you.
But Scratch Magazine is a really cool magazine, just like with Nail Pro and Nails Magazine. And I like what you're doing in regards to, highlighting other people from around the world, in regards to different types of artistry, what's happening in the
Mhm.
industry and things like that. So thank you so much. I had a very fun conversation.
Good, me too. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, it's our mission now to kind of, we've been focusing on the UK for so long and the UK market,
Right.
but through this new competition and through amazing people like you who are inviting me onto their podcast, hopefully the Scratch brand will grow worldwide. And I've really enjoyed chatting to you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Be sure to check out my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye-bye.